This memory still terrifies me. Outside of the police and some close family, this is the first time I've fully revisited it. A few years ago, I got my first job at a 24-hour gym. I was in a gap year between high school and college, so I worked a lot of night shifts. The gym was open 24/7 and accessed by keycard only, meaning there were often just 1 or 2 employees on shift at a time. Members would check in, use the equipment, and leave. The whole facility practically managed itself. All entries, exits, and equipment usage were tracked digitally. My job was simple: sit in the office and monitor the cameras. Occasionally I'd get up, do a walk around, some light cleaning, maybe chat with a regular. It was a rough part of town, but for the most part, everyone was friendly. It was the kind of gym where people knew each other, mostly because so few people actually came in. One night in particular, I was working an 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift, a long, exhausting stretch. But everything that happened that night still keeps me up. It was around 2 a.m. I had already finished my rounds and completed all the routine paperwork. Exhausted, I sat down and pulled up the camera feeds. Everything looked normal at first. A couple of regulars came and went. I had been working there a few months, so I recognized almost everyone, except one man. I first spotted him on a treadmill in the far corner of the gym. Normally, a new face wouldn't concern me. But what caught my attention was how fast he was running. I pulled up his treadmill in the monitoring system, 9 miles per hour. Impressive on its own. But what really unsettled me was that he never stopped. 10 minutes passed. Then 15. He never slowed, never paused. I leaned closer to the screen. The man was wearing ragged clothes. His hair was long and messy. His face never moved, not once. He just stared straight ahead, completely blank. Then I noticed his feet. He was barefoot. He had been running 9 miles per hour for 15 minutes with no shoes, just staring into the distance. By this point, he was the only person in the building besides me. I pulled myself together and remembered we had a policy requiring shoes. I decided to use that as an excuse to go talk to him. His machine was almost directly outside the employee hallway. I walked out, turned the corner, and my heart stopped. The treadmill was covered in blood. His feet were tearing apart with every step. Blood wasn't just dripping, it was splattering from his feet and ankles onto the belt, the floor, everything around him. And still, his face was stone cold. Mouth wide open, eyes locked straight ahead. He looked like he was on every drug on the planet. Every instinct I had was telling me this man was dangerous. But I still forced myself to call out to him. I raised my voice so he could hear me over the sound of his feet hitting the belt. He didn't respond. Didn't even turn his head. He just kept sprinting, mouth open, staring forward. I yelled again, something like, "Hello, what are you doing?" He muttered back, in the coldest, raspiest voice I have ever heard. "Are you there?" He wasn't even out of breath when he said it. I told him to stop several more times. Every single time, he just repeated it, "Are you there?" In that same hollow, rattling voice. The pool of blood at the end of the belt kept growing. I decided I was done. I turned and went back to the office to call the cops. But before I dialed, I glanced at the monitors one more time. He was staring directly at the camera. Still sprinting. Still bleeding. Mouth open. Eyes fixed on the lens like he could see straight through it, straight at me. I looked away. Then I heard screaming coming from just outside the office door. Not words. Just a raw, full-throated scream at the top of his lungs. I looked back at the monitor. He had jumped off the treadmill, didn't even turn it off, and sprinted out of frame. I cycled through every camera in the building, searching. Nothing. He was gone from every feed. Every feed except one. The employee hallway camera. There he was. Standing about 6 feet from the office door. Still. Silent. I have no idea how he got into that hallway without a keycard. I didn't stop to think about it. I lunged for the lock. 5 seconds after I locked the door, the doorknob rattled. I called the police. He started screaming again, shaking the door as I spoke to dispatch. They told me officers were 5 minutes out. I pressed myself into the corner of the office and waited while this man tried to get inside. His scream was unlike anything I'd ever heard, so deep it barely sounded human. And he kept it up. Relentlessly. For nearly 3 minutes. I genuinely believed that if he got through that door, I was going to die. Then, suddenly, silence. The door stopped moving. I checked the cameras. He was gone. Nowhere in the building. When the police arrived, I refused to leave the office until they had searched the entire facility. They found nothing. No sign of him anywhere. I answered their questions, got in my car, and drove home. I quit the next day. I have never been back to that gym. I still don't know what that man wanted, or what was wrong with him. And I still think about one thing: what would have happened if I hadn't locked that door?